Talk on KCAA 102.3 FM, broadcasting to the Moreno Valley, Corona, and Riverside.
The doctor is in. Welcome to the Psychic Love Doctor Show with host Deborah Lee. Deborah has been practicing, teaching, and perfecting the personal prophecy card reading method for 20 plus years. This life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. This inspiring show will help you never feel helpless in life or love ever again. Now, here's your host, Deborah Lee.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Friday. Ooh, it sounds beautiful to me. Very sexy. Friday. Yes. I think I've been watching way too many Office reruns this week because I'm feeling like Michael Scott wants to climb out of me and, start his usual antics.
His dorky boss charade. I don't think you can watch too much of The Office, though.
Probably not.
No.
Well, to those of us who are new, I would like to share with you that the method I use to perceive the future involves nothing but an ordinary deck of playing cards, which I am showing on the KCAA podcast and also via Facebook Live for Facebookers who are joining us. This is a method I learned from my grandmother back, oh my goodness, in the early 80s, and I must have given thousands of readings over those years. It's phenomenal, this method, where we're able to take your life, look at it right now as we're standing in the present, and we can examine the future that is on the path toward us, and we can change it. There is nothing that is cast in iron or stone that says what is perceived we absolutely must live.
This is true.
Yes. And I would like to introduce my lovely co-host. This is Lauren.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
She's a fantastic hairdresser by day and
thank you.
Very bewitching by night.
And speaking of bewitching, I wanted to talk about, because it's October and I love Halloween and I love it. I was hoping we could talk maybe about some mysteries or some ghost stories that we've maybe experienced, maybe some ghost stories that our listeners have experienced. If you have any ghost stories to share, go ahead and type them out on our comments.
That would
maybe
be great.
We can talk about it, if we don't get to them today, maybe a future show.
Or if you call for a reading and you have a mini ghost story to tell us, please feel free.
So I thought I would kick things off by talking about a ghost experience. I've had a few of them.
Okay.
But my earliest kind of one was at the house that I grew up in. And I originally lived in a different room, and then later on I switched. And the reason why is this room, my mom had always said that it was haunted. But when I did switch rooms, I would have periodically like this feeling of it would just be really like a chill in the air. And later on found out that it was possible that one of the previous tenants had actually died in that room. But I would lose, things constantly, and I would just get this really icky, cold feeling, and I would have nightmares when I would look out the window and I'd see eyes on the other side of the window.
Really?
So I was hoping...
Could have been just a peeping Tom in the neighborhood.
It could have been, but I didn't know. Can you do a reading? Would that be possible? Could you see if it was a malevolent presence or if it was like a positive? Was it somebody...
For you?
Yes, and if it's like still around?
Yes. We can conduct mediumship using the cards. It's simply tapping into the spirit world in another dimension, basically.
Okay.
So I've actually been able to even communicate with pets that have passed away rather suddenly, and the owners were very upset and wanted to communicate with their lost. Well, one was a horse, and his name was Bentley, and boy, that horse had a lot to say. So there are so many people out there that fear spirits and ghosts and entities of that sort. And are you saying that's what you...
Well, I I think that there's always, I think because of the connotations, we watch scary movies, and I think we always kind of think that a spirit is probably like sinister because of the movies we watch. So I think sometimes we automatically assume something's a malevolent presence when maybe it might not be. In my experiences, the few that I've had kind of felt like kind of bad presence. I do sometimes feel like my grandfather on my dad's side, he was super amazing, and I feel like sometimes he's around, like, kind of like helping me or guiding me or there to make me feel better. But the other ones that I don't know, I feel like are scary. Were your experiences more scary experiences, or what do you feel like?
You mean for myself?
Yeah.
No, mine were more of a spiritual nature where, for instance, one very cold November evening, you know how so often you might be sweating out payday. We had $20 left, and we decided we needed to go pick up a few things, some milk, bread, that sort of thing. And in this grocery store parking lot, it was rather dark. A woman approached us, not young, not really very middle-aged, I would say, and she was crying. And she said, "Please, can you help me? My husband threw me out of the house, and I'm trying to get enough money to find a place to stay." Well, we both looked at each other, Daryl and I. We knew all we had was that $20 bill, but something just clutched at us and said, "Give it to her." We could always, write a check that's a little bit on the hot side and hope it doesn't pass through the checking account. Anyway, we gave her the money, and she hugged us, and she moved on. Seemed like a perfectly normal human form. And it wasn't maybe 5 steps later we turned around to wave at her to see. She was nowhere to be found. I mean, nowhere in that parking lot. And it was a huge parking lot. There were no people in cars. She just simply disappeared.
Did she keep the 20?
She did. You know what, though? I think a lot of times this could even be the higher power coming to test us in terms of our generosity. Or he'll send an angel.
I think that too.
Yes, and it really is a good idea to go ahead and give the gift what that individual is saying they need, because once you've given it, you've passed the test. Whatever they do to buy drugs or alcohol or whatever they do, that's on them.
I also don't want to lie. That's the biggest problem. When someone asks you, like, do you have a spare dollar? Yes, I have a spare dollar. Like, I'm not going to go broke if I don't have the dollar, so I don't want to lie to anybody. And I can't be mean and just be like, no, I'm not going to give you a dollar.
Well, I think it's a personal thing.
Yeah, well, and I also think it might be an angel.
Right. And
so I can't be turning down angels with dollars. What kind of...
I wonder what kind of report they send back to the big guy.
I think it's a good report. I think it is. Shall we get to... we do have a caller.
Yes.
We have Julia from Florida. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm
Hello,
doing well.
Hi, Julia.
Hi.
How are
Can you hear me okay?
Good. Well, it's great that you decided to break the ice for us. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. And callers, if you'd like to get in line, the phone number is... Go ahead, my dear.
It is 909-792-5222.
Okay. Julia, what can we do for you this evening?
Well, I'm feeling a little stressed out. I need to make a move by the end of the month because where I'm living now, we've already given our 30-day notice, and the person I'm living with is moving actually Monday, so I'm finding myself quickly losing my place to live. So I've been doing a lot of looking around, and it's frustrating because I feel like every place I look, the doors close, and so I'm frustrated and overwhelmed, and so I guess I was originally thinking of moving to Wilmington, North Carolina, and then, Hurricane Florence hit, and after that, all the places that I had already researched to, the apartments and that, every place that I called, there was no availability. So then I went to Plan B, which was Chattanooga, Tennessee. And The places that I called either was no availability, or it's like they advertise one price, but then when you call them and ask for availability, the price was always significantly higher and out of my budget. So it's like, okay, a little bait and switch here.
Right, and I can really understand your frustration and worry and wondering where in the world are you going to go as the months, the days keep rolling by. But as Julie, as I'm looking at your cards here, we were talking about spiritual tests. The one that's on you right now that I'm perceiving is the test of faith and patience. It's coming. You're going to find an absolutely wonderful place. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be right down to the deadline, just about. But if you can put your energy in that direction and say, basically to the universe, to the all-being, just say, I have nothing but faith. The right place is going to be open for me, and it will literally fall in my hands. That's how sure I am. And keep looking, and don't stress if you can help it, because the more we give off those negative feelings and energies, the more it's as if we say to the universe, I love being miserable, send me more. Well, we certainly don't want more, but I am definitely seeing that the right place is going to open up for you. Now, I'm not necessarily feeling that you're going to be able to make this location move as quickly as you had hoped. There are reasons that those apartments are not available. There's reasons why those doors are closed to you. It's not where you're supposed to be at this particular time. My feeling is try to find a place around where you are now in Florida and give yourself more time, more to really calculate and consider where you really want to go. And I'll tell you, there isn't a lease in this world that can't be broken. So I really feel, what do you think, Lauren? You have a very wise look on your face.
Well, I've definitely been in this position before. I've moved way too many times. But I would say, I don't know what avenues you've looked at, but looking for room rentals is, you could actually find a really, really nice place in your budget too if you haven't looked there. I just wanted to offer that as a suggestion because that can seem like a scary idea, but it's kind of like going to a job interview. You can go meet the people, or just really like looking at an apartment. You can go and look and meet the person that you're going to live with, sign an actual lease and all that stuff, but possibly quicker and also within your budget, because we certainly don't want you without a dwelling.
Right, and I do feel that a distance move is coming for you. There's another female around this that is going to really encourage you. I'm not even sure if you've met her yet. She doesn't live where you do. But this woman and you are going to really, there's a really good vibe between the two of you as friends. And this is, I feel, the direction that you are going to move into. Now, I want to take a moment and see if I can figure out, you had talked about Wilmington, and she also mentioned Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I wanted to, there was one more that I was just about to mention, is my daughter lives in Kansas City, Kansas, and I was just about to maybe call her and see if she could help me possibly find a place there. So that would be fantastic for you. I think it's a good stepping stone. And this will give you a chance to, decide what you really want for your future. Because when we are facing all these obstacles and doors just aren't opening, the direction we're trying to go is a no-go, basically. And there can be all sorts of reasons why we're being held back. It could be that the place that you're, say, pushing to go, the building may burn down. And so you have, say, guardian angels that are preventing you from going in that direction. I mean, there's just all sorts of things we don't fully understand. But I do feel your cards show that you will land on your feet. It's all going to work out. And, well, just in general, I think the future looks very bright for you. So I hope this helps. Yes, thank you so much.
Well, if I were you, I would let your daughter, help you out there a little bit with some scouting out of places for you to live. And that doesn't mean that you have to be married to Kansas City. There can be I get the sense that you are a bit of a globetrotter at heart. You'd like to see more of our country and the cultures that are out there. And you're definitely going to get to do that within the next, I would say within the next decade, for sure.
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Julia. Don't be a stranger. We'd love to give you more readings in the future, all right?
All right. Thanks so much, ladies. Have a great night, and thanks for taking my call.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Up next, we have Darcy from North Carolina. How are you doing, Darcy?
Hello, Darcy.
I'm doing fabulous. Hey, ladies.
Hi.
Hey.
So what can we do for you this evening, and how is your state now, where you're living? Did you survive the onslaught of both Florence and, what was his name, Michael?
Michael.
A lot of trees down, but everything's good, though.
Well, I like that. There's a lot of trees down, but everything's good.
Hey, that's awesome.
No power outage.
Yes, I did. I lost it both times.
Oh, that's kind of the worst bit.
There could be a lot more worse, so I'm good with that.
Exactly. So tell us, what's your situation, and what would you like me to look at in the cards for you?
Well, I decided that I was going to try to date again, and I had a greet and meet. Everything was going great, and then all of a sudden it went to hell in a handbasket. And I have my suspicions why, but I'm wondering what actually happened.
Okay. I want to know what actually happened, too.
Well, was this person honest with you?
Well, I thought he was, and then, a couple of phone calls, something happened, I got this feeling, and I just wrote it out until it was time to do the greet and meet, and, and I have no clue what happened.
So he's just gone poof on you?
Yes, pretty much, and I can take no for an answer, and I haven't called, text, but he burns my Facebook page up. So something's not adding up here.
How many times did you go out, Darcy?
We only did the greet and meet. We didn't get to go on the date. I had this feeling that something didn't add up, and so I wanted to meet before we actually went on the date, which I'm glad I did now.
Was he the same person that he advertised himself to be with his picture?
Yeah, I knew him from years ago, and I was very quite shocked at the reception and everything.
Now, we have a male cameraman here tonight. I would like to turn to him because he can represent all of his gender, and I would like to know, why do you think that man couldn't man up and tell her, hey, it's not a good fit, or I'm just not getting the right feeling? Why did he run off?
He was quite cruel, to be honest with you.
Okay, repeat that, Jim.
Women are so emotional that sometimes we get the feeling that we can't just say things bluntly like that.
Oh,
Without there being a gigantor scene, like a soap opera.
Emotional?
Yeah.
I'm not emotional.
We'd rather just say, yeah. Have a good night.
Yeah,
but that is so
I don't think it was that, because I think we were very honest on a lot of aspects. I have a suspicion, and I'm just wondering if it's what I think it is.
Well, for one thing, the cards are just right out front and center saying he kept a lot of secrets. Yes. I don't think he was quite as honest with you as he was letting on. Or, everybody's on their best behavior when they're first meeting. You don't get to see their nasty skivvies or anything like that till further along. They all want to be Prince Charming. But this man has secrets.
I love it.
So tell us, what do you think was the reason?
There was another woman I believe he was talking to because of a conversation. He called me, and he was texting at the same time he was talking to me, and making lewd sounds. So that pretty much told me everything I needed to know.
Lewd sounds?
What?
Yes.
I'm afraid to ask.
I don't think they were appropriate texts, if you get my drift.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
There's also a son. There's also a secret son around him that he doesn't care to discuss or even acknowledge exists. But it looks like the baby mama's getting a nice paycheck, if you know what I mean.
he sounds like a politician.
Well, Darcy, go ahead.
I know there was another female. I feel like it in my gut.
There is.
And that's why I wanted to do the Greek meat first.
You know, the thing is, you deserve so much better. This guy's a snake.
He's juggling.
And that's Jim just said he's
And
juggling.
he didn't want to shut the door in case he has to go back to her.
Boy, this guy's pretty insightful.
That door is so shut. I don't play those games at my age. I don't have time for it.
He wanted to keep you on the back burner while he sees how things are going to fly with the other one.
Yep.
It worked.
Well, you got a better one coming your way, so don't stop dating. There is, this one's a diamond. I mean, a polish, not even in the rough. And this one isn't just going to want to date you. He's going to want to marry you.
There you go. You're going to be on the front burner, Darcy.
Yeah, where you
Can
belong.
I ask you one question? In my cards, because I'm trying to get really healthy, am I achieving my goal? That's all I want to really know.
Yes. And you've made an excellent investment in yourself doing this. Just remember now, there's a card here that shows a little overdoing, so be careful. You know, you got to have some resting days. You got to, not always. What is it that they say? Even the ones who are vegetarians, they still have to take some supplementation.
Oh, yeah.
So, I see that you're very gung-ho. You're going to achieve your goal. No doubt about it.
Good.
Yep. And you know what? You also have some very supportive, there's like a network of friends around you that really, and I feel like you hesitate in some ways because you've been hurt by friends before. Yes. So, but these are honestly really good people, and I feel that there's nobody here except for that guy. Boy, if he tries to come back, I think you should. What should he do?
It's going to be a laugh.
Yeah.
I think he ghosted you. You ghost him right back.
Oh, hon, I don't even have time. I just wanted to make sure my assumptions and what I believed was true, and it was.
It was. So you got a really good gut. You have great intuition, so you should trust it more. And remember, listen to Jim here. He's telling this real story about how...
That was easy. That was clear.
Yeah.
Just keeping options open.
Yeah.
If he tries to text you again, you can, look up witty responses because that can be fun. Because you can put, the subscriber you've reached no longer wants to speak with you. That's a good one.
That'd be good. That'd be a good one.
She's adorable. I love her. Well, Darcy,
thank you so much.
You stay in touch now. We'd like to follow your love life along.
Well, okay? I have to tell you, it's been so long since I've been able to get off early enough on a Friday night to catch you.
Oh, well, that sounds like serendipity to me.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for your help and your insight.
Thank you so much for calling us, Darcy. And with that, we are going to pause for station identification.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
Well, we're back. We just got done talking to Darcy from North Carolina, and we'd love for the rest of you to give us a call for a reading, or if you want to just tell us a really good, eerie ghost story, especially the true ones. The number for us is 909-792-5222.
There we go. Excellent. So,
yes.
The modern day ghost story is almost as scary as the regular ghost stories with Darcy. But that happens with my friends all the time. They'll go out with people, and, you know, one minute they think that they're having a good time, they're getting along really well with somebody, and then the person completely disappears. And, you know, that can be really upsetting to somebody. You know, you're investing your time, or you're thinking maybe, you know, be hopeful, and people just disappear. I have maybe been a ghost before, but that's because I'm immature and I don't like to hurt people's feelings. So if you're out there and you wondered, where did I go? I wasn't in a good place. Or you weren't in a good place. And I didn't want to be in good places or bad places at the same time.
You should tell the story about the client you had with the abduction story. That one kind of gave me chills. But make it kind of
Well, I did. I had an anonymous client at this point. You know, she may come on at some point. I don't know. But she said she was 22 years old. She's 91 now. And when she was 22 years old, her and her fiance were riding on a road in Connecticut. And Connecticut can be a weird place. But they were riding on a road in Connecticut, and she said that it was 3 o'clock on the radio.
In the afternoon?
In the afternoon. And all they know is that all of a sudden the car had stopped, and they both had disappeared for about 3 hours. They came, and when they returned, they were back in their car, and it was still 3 o'clock. Both of them agreed that they had gone away, and she believes she was abducted by aliens.
Ooh.
And she said, I was talking to her, and, you know, I have to say she's the first person I've came in contact who said this, but, and I kind of believe, she said that, you know, when they say that, you know, the aliens did things to you, she's like, that would never happen, because the aliens make it impossible for you to remember what happened while you were gone. But it was pretty, I was pretty convinced. What do you think, Deb? Do you believe in aliens as well as ghosts? Like, how do you...
Actually, I thought I would turn to the deck, and we would check this story out.
Okay, all right.
The cards never lie, you know.
The cards never lie, so we will see.
And isn't it rather presumptuous of us to think we're the only people, creatures, we'll say creatures, inhabiting a planet?
That would be presumptuous, but I would like to presume that we're the best creatures
in
the planet. Yes, at least we are, you and I. We're pretty good creatures.
Okay, now I've got to tell you something. I'm not picking up that this is really a true story.
Really?
I'm not. What I'm seeing here is that I think the boyfriend or fiancé drugged her. He drugged her so that the time was missing. He was doing something else. I can't quite pick it up, but he was involved in some nefarious type of affairs. And didn't you say that he ended up a floater in a lake somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel that he was involved in something. He drugged her so she would pass out. And then there was maybe, because I see the exchange of money here, I'm seeing some dark characters. And what I think is he needed to knock her out and then tell her a really good story.
There we go. There we have it.
And then he's, dead as a duck in a what was it, a lake, a week after their marriage?
Apparently.
There was a lot
Allegedly.
going on there, yeah. So how about that? See, the cards will tell us. They'll give us insights.
Why are ducks dead?
I don't know.
Well, you're a dead duck.
I don't know what that means.
They don't, sir. They're not.
All the ducks I've seen have been alive. Except the ones on your plate.
That is interesting. I don't know. It just kind of popped out. Maybe.
I've also heard dead as a doornail, too, right?
Dead as a doornail?
Which one is it?
Dead as a
duck?
Doornails are not animated.
What does a doornail and a duck have in common that they're both dead?
Dumb as a doorknob?
Well, that I can understand. Dumb as any inanimate object. Yeah.
Well, boy, we have quite a group of folks waiting to get on the air with us.
Yes, we do.
So let's now go to Sadie from Michigan, and I know this lovely young lady, so I cannot wait to speak to her. Hello, Sadie.
Hi, how are you?
We're doing pretty good, and I'd like to know how you are, honey.
I'm doing good.
Good.
How can we help you?
I was wondering how things will play out for me in the next few months.
Okay. Is there something specific that you're hoping for? A job or a relationship or, something specific?
Maybe with myself and in the future a relationship.
Okay. Are you involved with anyone now?
No. I just got out of a relationship.
And my feeling is that was a very good choice for you. Yes. That was not going to be a good, healthy relationship for you. And you got out, and it was a very good thing.
Yes.
So I'm laying out your cards right now. And for those of you that may be interested, I do use a full 24-card layout rather than just, pull a card or 2 or 3. I'd rather see the whole situation. The playing field, if you will, of your entire life. So that's what I am doing.
I enjoy it. It's very interesting to watch. I know a little bit about it, so every time, and once in a while, when somebody has a question, I do try to look out and see if I see certain cards coming up. I get really excited because I'm like, ooh, this could be good.
Yes, this is going to be good for you, Sadie. You have had a lot of rough things happen to you. These have been experiences that, I can see that you're a young girl, young woman, and you're too young to have had the things that have happened to you. But in your later life, this is all going to make sense, more sense to you. I feel that there is a calling on your life, and it's an important one. And it's for, when we actually connect with what is meant for us, within this lifetime, it's like doors just suddenly fly open all over the place. Sadie, there is something coming up for you, and I feel it's in the way of a scholarship. What else could it be? It's a gift to her. It involves her future, and it involves a very bright outcome for her.
Grant money, maybe?
Yeah.
Or...
Are you planning to stay in school or go to school?
Yeah, I want to study criminal justice.
There you go. And I'll tell you, you are going to be in line for some really good financial help. You are really going to find this to be a golden ticket for you because you do have a mind for, like forensics and criminal activity. And you could be just a crackerjack at all of this. And your future husband is coming through this endeavor. I feel the two of you are going to actually meet during your education. Very likely you're studying the same thing, so that would be good study buddy stuff, wouldn't it? And wow, is a marriage going to develop out of this for you? And I want you to know something, Sadie, because I do know you, to a certain extent. I want you to know that special someone who isn't in the world anymore but watches over you, a spirit that is unrelenting and stays so close to you, he is going to be so happy when you are happy. When he sees a good man love you and he sees you have a good life and there's children, and he will smile from the other side. He'll always be with you, always.
Thank you. I really needed to hear that.
Well, don't you ever doubt it. Because you have, it's as if he has taken a guardian angel form for you. And that his hand will always be on your shoulder, and he does not want you to be alone. So just remember, and you can talk to him. On the other side, they're filled with love, and there's peace, and they just want us to find happiness and love. So yes, he is definitely with you. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy this. Now hold this information to your heart and manifest it. You are going to receive, and it's coming very soon to you. It's like an amazing grant or a scholarship. It's something that is just huge that will be just placed in your lap. And the career path you are taking is like the yellow brick road. And I hope that you appreciate it. I hope you'll stay in touch with us, honey. We'd like to hear from you again.
Of course. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Okay, and our phone number again
is 909-792-5222. And we have Lisa from Massachusetts on the line. How are you doing, Lisa?
Hi, ladies. How are you tonight?
Very good. How are you?
I'm well. I just want to make this quick. I just want to thank you, ladies, for really helping me on this journey. It really has caused me to really be honest with myself in regards to the things that are happening around me and the things that are happening to me. And I have to, I feel myself changing. I'm really loving myself, really acknowledging that, hey, I'm who I am.
Right.
And sometimes when you have your head up your butt or you have your eyes focused on one thing, you really don't see what's around you. And I finally have taken my head out from my backside.
Well,
and looking,
that's
and I'm
fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm looking around and I'm like, wow, guys are really looking at me and they're, checking out my ass and everything. And
well, that's clarity, and I'm glad it's like you have a new pair of eyes.
Yeah,
vision. So good for you. I'm glad they're checking out that butt.
Oh yeah, I am having so much fun. So much fun. I really am. I'm like, yeah, I am sexy. Damn, I am hot.
There you go. Those are good affirmations. And if you don't believe it, how is anybody else going to?
Exactly. I'm just having so much fun. I'm like, you know what? I can attract a guy into my life, and a good guy, and a guy who's available. And it's like, I have to be honest with myself. I'm like, am I really attracted to Alan? Am I really attracted to him? Would I really want to date him?
And how do you feel? What was your answer?
My answer is no.
Your answer is no. Look at you. See, we believe in your butt, and you should too.
But see, that experience with this guy has been very good for you in the sense that it brought you to this place where you are. Think of him as your door opener, like a room. And they don't always, door openers don't always turn out to be a lasting, a passionate love affair. Sometimes it's just a moment or two that, brings us discernment, smacks us in the forehead, and we go, wow, you know what? I deserve better than this.
Yeah, because it's like I can't keep trying to cover my eyes as to, what I see within him. I feel bad for him in a lot of ways, but I don't feel bad enough where I would need to be a doormat to him. I don't feel bad enough where I need to be a crutch for him. I don't feel bad enough where I need to be his mother.
Good for you.
Because I see how he is. I see that he's not faithful. I don't feel that faithful in the way on an emotional level. I see that he's needy. He's afraid to be alone, and that doesn't mean that I have to run to him and take all that away from him. I'm stepping back from him so that he can experience it for himself.
That's awesome. Really.
Yeah.
You're really growing.
Yes. Yes. And I have to thank him for it. I really have.
I guess we should thank the cards, really, because I'm just the middleman or middle woman.
Yeah.
In all of this.
I just feel myself just kind of like, it's like I'm not, it's weird. I just feel that I'm not focused on him. And when he sees that I'm not, he gets a little desperate.
Sure.
I can feel like, it's like, okay, she's not looking at me. She's not,
It sounds incredibly immature, realistically speaking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you, I have your card spread out, and I may have told you this in the past, but I honestly feel coming up for you will be a choice of two men, distinctly different men. One has a personality that is, He is completely a comedian type of man, full of jokes. And I've often said, and Lauren agreed with me when we talked before we went on the air, men that have a great sense of humor, looks don't really even come into play there. Women love to laugh and feel good. And right?
Yes.
So if all you guys out there that know how to make a woman giggle, that's their sexiness. I'm not talking the guys that want to stick your head under the sheets and, pass some gas and find that humor. That isn't where I'm going.
That is never funny, by the way. Not at all.
That is abusive. It's an abuse of power. But for you, Lisa, you've got the other man he's an artistic type. I'm hearing that he's involved in like graphic arts. Very artsy, and doesn't have a lot of self-esteem. He's very perfectionistic, where the other guy is just kind of down to earth and might live a little slobbishly, the comedian guy. He, well, isn't that typical of a lot of them?
It is.
I don't know. I might suspect a guy that's a neatnik, and the house is sparkling clean. I mean, I'd be wondering, doesn't he have a life? I
always end up with really neat men, except for my current one. He's pretty sloppy, and I don't enjoy that. But if he's listening, you can clean up your clothes at any time. But
especially the dirty, nasty ones. But Lisa, no kidding. Now there is going to be a turnabout here, where that fella that you have really been attracted to for so long, you're going to find him really wanting to lay his heart out in front of you. You're the only woman he ever blah, blah, blah.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you talking about Alan?
Yes.
What?
It's going to be too late. I think you'll already be engaged to somebody. He's got this idea that he can be a mover and a shaker and a big player, and he is so cheating himself. He should just be a regular guy, instead of playing all these games. So, yeah, I do feel. And how about children? Have I ever asked you about children?
I think so. I know that
I'm
at a point in my life that I probably could, but I don't think that it would be wise.
Well, then you best, like Grandma would say, you best keep your legs crossed and your mind on Jesus, because I am definitely seeing the possibility.
That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. As my mother would say, keep the nickel between your legs.
No, that's a good one, too.
Keep that nickel between your legs.
Because I do feel there is strong potential. It's what's sure to come true. The potential for a pregnancy here.
Wow.
But between now having all these logical thoughts and when it happens, I feel you're going to be very much in love with the man you're with. You just might have a change of mind on that.
Yes. I think biologically, who knows? God can do whatever God wants to do.
Well, I think it's going to be great. And if you do decide to go ahead and have a child, I am perceiving it to be a boy.
Oh.
Yeah, a cute little boy, chip off the old block, just like his papa. But he's going to have your heart and your brilliance.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
It is. And the cards will show us, the immensity of what our lives can really hold. And I hate to have to rush with you, Lisa, but we do have some other ladies.
Always.
But you stay in touch now, okay?
I will. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so very much.
You're so welcome. And our number is 909-792-5222. We're moving on right now to Barbara, who is a regular caller from Washington. Hey, Barbara.
Hi. How
Deborah.
Are you? Oh, life sucks again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the gentleman that I was spending a great deal of time with for these past several months, has decided to spend time with his best friend from Maryland who came out to visit, and it's kind of like a sparkly little joy toy. And
it's a woman? A woman?
Yes, it's a woman that he's with. He had stated that if her husband died soon from AFib, that he would be marrying her before the end of the year. And
I'm not sure how to respond to that. I don't want to say I'm sorry or, let me see what the cards have to say for you on this.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping there's someone better.
Well, I hope so, too. It doesn't sound like you're too thrilled this weekend, but hopefully things will pick up and maybe she'll see something better for you on the rise. How do you feel? Do you feel like there's a chance if you can? I would be kind of upset with him. Do you feel upset with him?
I was very upset with him. He came here with her last Friday night and introduced her to me as, we're looking for a divorce draft. I'm like, lovely. And he publicly embarrassed and humiliated me at our regular restaurant. Everybody saw them hand in hand, arm in arm, all over each other. And I'm like, this is not good.
And you two have been romantic?
We have not. We were never intimate, but we were very close. We would go out ballroom dancing. We walked a 5K together. We had dinner tonight almost every night we had dinner.
Well, I have news for you, Barbara. This woman is not going to pan out for him. Okay? First of all, I don't think she has those feelings toward him from what I'm seeing here. He's actually, all these things you've done with him have actually made a big impression on him. But he has a screw loose if he shows up to introduce you to this woman friend. That's not being very, caring about your feelings. But I'm wondering if he misinterpreted your relationship since it hadn't been intimate, and he's getting the sugar somewhere else. And Jim behind the camera is nodding like one of those little things you put in your car with the bobblehead. Oh, yeah, he's saying that's what it is. He's going to want to come back to you. Question is, will you still want him when he does? Because I see this hurt you're feeling runs pretty deep.
It does.
It does.
He, like I said, the public humiliation, the embarrassment of the two of them together in our regular restaurant, which happens to be right next to my shop.
So would you say that the people in the community, do you think that they saw you two as dating? Do you feel like you were dating, just not intimate?
Everybody saw us as a couple.
Huh.
And the guys would tell me he was courting me, like an old-fashioned relationship.
Well, he went for the not sure what to call it.
He went for the 47-year-old.
You didn't seal the deal. And that's coming from Jim, who, like we said, he's representing all these men tonight. And he said the other one is putting out. So, and you know what? That man needs to grow up. You can't have an old-fashioned relationship and be jumping between the sheets the way he apparently wanted. And believe me, that little bimbat is going to be out of here. He is finding she's not nearly the classy woman that you are. She's not as intelligent. And this is what I've often perceived about men. They will actually walk away from the best thing that ever happened to them only to want to come running back when they found themselves in the arms of the wrong woman.
Well, yeah. And also, like, physical intimacy, too, can bring, like, a false sense of intimacy, too. So it might be confusing his, feelings, maybe, about things temporarily, but when she's gone, it's not going to happen.
Well, he's going to wake up and realize.
But, I don't know. To a certain extent, I think there's a middle ground of, dating the way that, in a traditional sense, and then also, did you guys ever kiss at all?
Yes, not big mushy kisses, but yes, we've kissed.
You see, here's where I find the conundrum is really about.
He was like he was never, ever going to let go of me.
Well, here's the thing. Women and men today they're going fast and loose. I mean, everybody that I see as clients, just about first date, they're jumping in the sack. And then they wonder why it doesn't work out. You, on the other hand, you kept that bar really high, and I'm so proud of you that you did. We're more, you and me, Barbara, are kind of in the same age bracket a little bit. Well, we remember the days when women did keep that nickel, they kept that nickel between their knees. And made a man work for it. And then it was going to be the best sex he ever had when his tongue was hanging out. So funny. Lauren and I, we have a 30-year age difference between us. So she's representing contemporary,
I am a lady. I am a lady. And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, I do want to share with you. You still with us, Barbara?
Yeah, I'm here.
I got to share some wonderful news for you under what is sure to come true. Your business is it's her lifeblood. This woman makes gowns that are to die for.
I have heard.
Oh, I've seen them. And I love that you post them. The one you did for the girl going to prom. Oh, my God, that was gorgeous. What I want to share with you is coming very, very soon is a huge upswing in your business. You could become so busy that you may have to take on some help to do the prep work and, some other things. But
I hope so.
Yes, it is coming. Please believe it.
Shocking phone call a few months ago from the Discover Channel.
No.
And they were looking at me like comparing Say Yes to the Dress with what's her face on Long Island, the Long Island Medium.
Oh, I like it.
Not a medium, but it was an interesting call, and they could be out there in the future. I don't know.
Well, you know what? Dream those big dreams. These, there are celebrities, there's all sorts of successful people in the world that came from nothing, but they dreamed and they believed, and look where they are today. I may have told this story before, but I remember reading from Contact Music an interview that John Mayer did, where he said when he was first starting out, he slept with his guitar because he believed when he was asleep, the guitar was teaching him to be better as mastering the guitar. So to you, Barbara, sleep with your guitar and just hold on to that. I'm living my dream. There's no reason you can't live yours. And I mean that to everybody. Everybody. Well, so yes, I feel this man is going to come back into your life and not too far in the future. This could be an opportunity to get this relationship on the right track. And the two of you need to communicate. Did you tell him off for what he did?
So last Sunday, I told him I needed to talk to him alone.
Mm-hmm.
He came in here. I said, I told him, I said, you hurt me really bad and you embarrassed me. And I said, I thought the two of us were developing a relationship. And he just kind of shrugged me off, and he didn't even apologize. He just kind of, one thing he said was, he said that I was never interested in you in that way. And I was like, excuse me? Nobody ever, especially myself, would have believed that. From the way he treated me, the way he looked in my eyes, the way he would hug me and dance with me. He was teaching me ballroom dancing after he had his lesson.
He's a spoiled brat, is what he is. And so now he's kind of gone over the fence. He's over there with her. But you watch and see. I feel that ship may have sailed, but it's going to pull back into port, and then you can decide if he's the man worthy of your affection. Because I see you're going to have opportunities with far more men, and this is a good learning experience. Think of it. She was able to hold on to her dignity and her integrity, and he's the loser. You know, oh gosh, you guys have all been so fascinating for us tonight, but guess what? We've got 1 minute to say goodbye, and thank you for joining us. Lauren, you too, Jim behind the camera, and all the rest of you. You make this show what it is. I'd love to keep talking, but we're out of time. So join us next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We will be here, and we hope you will be too. Take care, everybody. Have a safe week. See you next week. Mwah!
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.